Show up. Yeah. Just hang out for a minute.
We're waiting for Austin's cue.
Yeah, Austin, if is that your cue?
Yep, you guys have been live.
Awesome. Well, we're good live. Is anybody watching?
Negatory.
Oh, see, that's why we're waiting. It's just sad when no one's
Hey,
watching.
Shirley joined.
Yay!
What does that mean?
Shirley,
Oh, okay.
your wife is watching.
All right.
It makes us feel good when Mom watches us. But I guess we can go ahead and start. We got one watcher. That's always good. Randy, Dad, you're fresh back from the hardware market. You piled into a truck with 3 other smelly guys and drove all the way to Indianapolis for a weekend of work.
It was a weekend of work. And before we get into the program this morning, I just want to dedicate this Facebook session today to the memory of our good friend Dave Loker, who passed this week after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. Dave was an employee of ours and a good friend of mine, and we're going to miss him. With all that being said, Dave was around the hardware industry for a long time, but we just came back from the hardware market that was in Indianapolis. Some people call it a show, some people call it a convention. But whatever you want to call it, it's a buying show, and that's where we go to buy product. We go twice a year, and I always come away from the market bringing something back to the store. And this year, what I brought back was a new enthusiasm for the industry in general. We all made a comment, and maybe it was just through my old eyes that I was seeing it, but we got a lot of young, talented people coming up in the industry. The interaction at the show this year was more than I've ever seen in a long, long time. We had a good trip. It was a tiring trip. It's not a vacation by any means. And we got a lot done. We got a lot accomplished. And Rachel and I were talking this morning about Do It Best Corp. And what a lot of people don't realize is how we're structured. We are independent. We own the store. We're not franchised in any way. We're free to buy from whoever we want. But Do It Best Corp goes back to 1945. It was formerly known as HWI, which is just an abbreviation for Hardware Wholesalers Incorporated. Arnold Gerberdine was the visionary. He was a small retailer looking for a better way to buy product, and his vision was to be able to group small stores together and be able to make purchases from the regional distributors at a better price. So in June 28, 1945, 7 retailers met and they formed HWI, which later became Do It Best Corp in 1998. Do It Best Corp is the largest privately owned business in the state of Indiana. Indiana and Indianapolis, they really take care of us when we come to town for market. Do It Best Corp corporate office is in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we're sending some of our young folks out there this summer for intensive training in the hardware industry.
Yeah, and fun fact, Shirley is also from Indiana.
My wife is from Indiana. That's correct. Yeah.
So we tend to go back. We're there at least twice a year, sometimes more, especially with all those classes that go on. Do It Best has a great training program where you can go and take all sorts of different classes. So we try to send all of our staff so that they are really in the know about what's going on in the hardware industry and how to help the customer the best that they can.
Right. There are thousands, I think it's close to 5,000 independent Do It Best stores in the continental United States. There's 52 Do It Best stores in other countries.
Yeah, Christian and I were able to go down to Panama earlier this year to visit some Do It Best stores, and that was an experience, because talk about large stores. This guy had 22 stores within his family, and they were just spread out over the entire country of Panama, and they definitely sold a lot of hardware.
Well, independent hardware stores play an integral part in the communities in which they're located. Typically, the independent stores are more engaged with their communities. They're more active in their community. They give back more to their community. There will always be a place for the small, independent hardware stores across our great country and the world.
Yeah, the cool thing about being independent is that we get to customize the product that we have in the store to what our customers need. So if you come in here on a Monday and say, I need such and such an item, we can have it to you by Friday, because we get 2 trucks a week from our Do It Best distribution center, which is fairly close. I think it's in
Lexington, South Carolina.
There you go. So we get stuff fairly regularly. Also, when we first opened, didn't they send some weird stuff that we had no idea what it was?
Yes.
We placed a big order to set up the store, and they said, well, you might need all of this, so you kind of ordered what they recommended, and some of it was a little strange. Do you remember that?
The one thing I specifically remember was what's called a well point. In some parts of the country, the water level is so close to the surface, you just drive a well point into the ground and you make a well. And when we got that here in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley, where wells are typically hundreds of feet deep, we looked at it and thought, I don't think that's going to work here.
Yeah. So we were able to send it back.
We sent it back.
And get the things that we did need for the store. And that's what's typical of independent hardware stores. We don't have to take what they send us at some other types of stores. You just have to take what they say is going to sell, and we don't get a say. They don't get a say in it. We get a say in what we sell in our store.
That's the advantage of not being franchised. We're free, and we do purchase local whenever we have an opportunity. And that fits our niche, fits our needs, and fills the needs of our customers much better than some glass tower somewhere with a corporate officer saying, you're going to carry some gray staple guns in aisle 7, location R3, something like that. We make the decisions. And I am very, very fortunate to have a group of young people here now that are embracing this industry. And these folks grew up shopping on the internet, but they soon realized that there will always be a place for a brick and mortar store for items. You don't want to order a toilet flapper valve off the internet and wait 2 days for it to come in. You need that device working now.
Yeah, that was a good example. Yeah, I don't know what else to add to that one. We love having our store being independent. Sometimes, customers come in and say, you moved aisle 7 to aisle 24. Why'd you do that? Well, we could. And we wanted to make it better. And every day we're striving to make it a better experience for all of our customers. And if we think it'll work out better with aisle 7 and aisle 24, then we'll change it and we'll make it work better for you. And we will help you every step of the way.
And the one thing that, I attended a lot of different seminars and sat in with a lot of seminars. His focus was, listen, always listen, because your customers will tell you one way or another what they like, what they don't like, and what you need and what you don't need. I feel very energized after coming back from the market. I feel that the future for the independent hardware store is bright. We can learn from what happens to the big boxes. We're watching what's going on with Sears. We've seen what happened with Kmart. We know you can't be all things for all people, but we focus on what we do best. I'm confident with the staff that's on board at both of my locations, and hopefully in the future we'll grow and expand, and we'll never lose sight of that small town service.
Yeah. And just like the name says, we do it best.
We do it best. And we don't mind your questions. We don't mind them at all.
It's my Vanna White clothes. Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in today. We'll be back in 2 weeks with some more fun facts and some hardware skills that you might want to learn about. Thanks for tuning in.